Hi, my name's Jamie Perry and I'm here to tell you a little bit more about Love Your Clothes. So Love Your Clothes is a campaign that's run by charity WRAP, and its aim is to inspire people to think about clothing a little bit more differently, and we do that in a number of ways. So the first way is we encourage people to buy clothing that's more durable or that's easy to look after, and if you do that, clothing lasts for longer and that's a really good thing. So revolutionary thought, your zip breaks, maybe you might want to fix it. So learning those skills are really important. Then you can share clothing or buy second hand or learn the value of your clothing and sell it. And the last thing is all about keeping clothes out of landfill. Whatever you do, no clothes or textiles should go into landfill at all. So that is no socks, no pants, no bras, not even your Batman costume. If you take one thing away, keep clothing out of the bin.
So I am a great advocate of upcycling, taking things that you already have at home and transforming them into something new. I also think that it's a fantastic way if you're a beginner to learn to sew, especially if you've not got much money. You can take things you already have in your wardrobe or at home, whether it be an old pair of jeans, a shirt, curtains, bed sheets. I'm honestly, truthfully mean it, nothing is safe in my house, and how I got so good so quickly enough to be on the Great British Sewing Bee was doing exactly that, upcycling.
I really love clothes because I think they're an amazing way for us on a daily basis to communicate how we feel, what kind of mood we're in. When we go to a party, we wear a beautiful party dress and we feel amazing about ourselves. The reason I really got into thinking about repair and recycling is, although on one hand it can make us feel really amazing, actually the waste from our fashion buying habits can create a huge mound of unwanted clothes. So for me it's really important, and what I'm passionate about is having an amazing fashion experience and enjoying our clothes, but doing it in a really responsible way and making sure that those clothes, when we don't want them anymore, can be enjoyed and worn by other people.
I've taken things apart since I was, I don't know, probably about 6, just trying on my mum's clothes, liking something about it and it not fitting me. And then since then it's just like the great shame at the amount of textiles waste there is, and kind of clothing that just kind of, you know, goes to waste a lot of the time. So then the idea of playing with that and turning it into something really valuable again is very exciting.
The sense of achievement once I've actually finished a garment, and once I can see my client's face happy, smiling when they've got their piece on, that is what does it for me. It's more of the just making other people happy.
So I think the reason that I'm really passionate about clothing comes from my textiles background. So I generally get really excited when I see an interesting or unusual fabric, or if I see something in wool or cashmere. And I think that comes from sort of a general appreciation of textiles, and a little bit from sort of my family background. So my grandma's always been a knitter, and she's always sort of kept her clothes looking really immaculate, and she's passed that passion on to me.
I think it all started when I first had children, and I realised I was using a lot of chemicals and didn't want to do that. I was also throwing away a lot of clothes, so I put those two things together and started doing research into stain removal. I think that they're the sort of skills that our mothers and grandmothers would have had, really, and somehow we've lost those skills. So trying to find them again and finding alternative methods of cleaning and that sort of thing, instead of being so blasé and throwing our clothes away, I think it's quite important.
My tip to extend the life of clothing would be cut them up. I would literally say cut your clothes up and make them into something new. It's not about, you know, not the make, do and mend. I'm like the extreme sewer. It's all about a sewing revolution for me, and it is about transforming the clothes that you have in the wardrobe into something completely new.
So we've all put a woolly jumper away at the end of winter and come back to it when it's autumn time and found it full of moth holes. We have got a pair of boots muddy, maybe we've gone to a festival and we've not cleaned them properly when we've got back, and the next time we've needed them the leather's rotted. So I think we want to take as much care of our clothes as we maybe do with our car or with our electronic goods. They're just as valuable, and we need to make sure that we're looking after them properly.
Some people think they've worn it once, it needs to be cleaned after every wear. Woolen suits, we don't need to dry clean them too regularly unless they are physically dirty. Whereas even jeans, denims don't need to be washed as regular as people may believe.
I mean, I would always say just look at what you've got before buying anything, because there's probably stuff you've got in your wardrobe that is perfectly good, in perfectly good condition, but it might just be the fact that maybe the shoulders are too big, or you like the fabric but not the style, so you can always reuse it. So you just cut it up and make it into something else.
My most important piece of clothing would be the first thing that I ever made, which was actually my wedding dress. I know you're probably going, what? Yes, everyone thought I was mad, but it was the first thing that I ever made.
I find it really hard to choose just one item out of my wardrobe that is my favourite thing, because I do make most of my own clothes and I love all of them. I don't think I could choose one. I spend a lot of time making them. I put my own touch on them, I customise them, I make them fit to me and what I prefer. So I love all of my clothes.
My favourite item of clothing in my wardrobe at the moment is the wedding dress that I made to get married about 6 months ago. It's actually a dress that my granny wore to a party in the 40s, and I've remodelled it into a shape that works really well for me. It's amazing because my granny is also nearly 6 foot tall, so there was more than enough fabric to work with, and I restyled it and wore it on my wedding day, so it's really special to me.
Well, I'd have to say the most special item in my wardrobe is the fursuit what I made at college. It no longer fits me anymore, but just the fact that it was made by these hands, the first thing I'd ever done, ever created, I would never ever get rid of that suit.
Probably the going home outfits of my baby boys, they're precious to me. All the baby clothes are precious to me, so I think they're my probably most important items.
So I hope this has inspired you, and I hope that the films have inspired you to make some change. And I'd love you to share those films. That's one thing that you can also do to help. So if you'd like to find out further information, then visit www.loveyourclothes.org.uk, follow us on Twitter or like us on Facebook.